my name's Ryan, and for my first kind of item review on the YouTube channel, I'm going to be talking about my Valiant Saddle Pads, which are designed and made by Matt Cornell, who is the original inventor of the rope saddle. And so it's basically a kit to make your own arborist saddle. So now this is it. I'm wearing it right now, and why don't you come in for a closer look and I'll show you how I have it set up. So these are the Valiant Saddle Pads. They got this awesome leather stamping here, and so the leather back pad and then 2 leg pads are all that it comes with, and then you kind of have to set up all the rest of the infrastructure on your own. I have the waist belt life support system, the same as the Matt Cornell rope saddle, just a line running through your side D rings and then through whatever you're using for your lower Ds, and then back again to an ISC ring to kind of be able to adjust those different lengths. Now, if we move on over to the lower Ds, this is something I did different from the Matt Cornell rope saddle. The Matt Cornell rope saddle just uses ISC steel rings as your lower side Ds, but I wanted something a little bit more purpose-built, and so I'm using kind of a upside down Rock Exotica rigging plate. And the only thing I'll tell you about this to make it easier to use if you decide to use any rigging plate is that you can't use it like a tree motion. You can't put your bridge through the middle and then your waist belt on the high one and leg loops on the low one. I actually learned this from the New Tribe Ankh saddles. You need to put your bridge through the top hole, put your waist belt through the middle hole, and then put your leg loops through the bottom hole. The reason for doing this is if you put the bridge in the middle, since the bridge point will be lower, it'll cause the side Ds to span out when you load the bridge, and it's really uncomfortable. The double fisherman's gets pressed into your leg and stuff. So did that differently. I'm trying out for a bridge connection point a little DMM bat ring. So far I really like it. It's really cute and small, but yeah, it's pretty fun. And the leg loops are the thing I've tinkered with the most to get something I like. Originally I just had non-locking carabiners as my connection point, but now on these I'm using webbing and the Austria Alpine quick buckles, which are the same ones that are used on the tree motions, and I found these on eBay for like 15 bucks each, and it makes the on and off super quick. Like, I love this so much. It's really easy to get this harness on and off, and I feel comfortable using these instead of the non-locking carabiners I was using earlier, because harnesses actually use these buckles, you know. Nobody else is making a harness that uses just little non-locking carabiners as your connector, so that's nice. My leg loop support is not very refined yet. It's just this elastic strap that I have run through this back ring, but at least it keeps them up. So I hope to refine this into something like the Tree Motion saddles. They have fantastic leg loop support, keeping everything like really nicely oriented. This harness has a bunch of options for carrying things. I just have a Petzl carrot tool on here because that's just what they gave me at work. But you also, I did end up eliminating one of the carrot tool slots because this is where I put my side Ds, because I'm used to a tree motion where the side D is set pretty far back, and on most harnesses it is. So if I were to put the side D ahead of this last life support belt loop, they're just really far forward, and you might as well just use your lower Ds at that point and just not even have side Ds. So I like having the side D between this first life support buckle and this one. I'm a huge fan of that. Now, one last thing I have on is I'm just trying out the Tree Motion suspenders on this thing. Really liked them so far. I am not using them the way they're designed to be used. I'm using them like regular suspenders. I don't like the way that the Tree Motion suspenders are supposed to be used, so we're rolling with it like this because I don't like a chest attachment point for SRT. So I'm just using it just like suspenders, just to keep my belt up and comfy when I got like a big saw on my, when I have to use a big saw in the tree. So that's just a brief overview, and there's so many options with this thing. I'm so excited to see all the cool things that people have done with this thing. I'm super grateful to Matt Cornell for coming up with this awesome piece of equipment to kind of play around with and mess around with. Just so versatile, so many options. The only thing I don't like about this harness, about the pads and the way that they're made, is it's a little bit hard because of where the life support belt loops run. Mostly the easiest way to just run your life support on the pads is just through these belt loops as like a rope or webbing, but it doesn't disperse weight as well as like the tree motions do. So you can tell that there's just like one rope bearing all the weight up here when you're wearing it for a while. Like if you're having to lean really far back from a spar and putting a lot of pressure onto the belt, it does start to get make your lower back sore. But I'm trying to figure stuff out and trying to figure out a way that I could spread out the weight more to make it more comfy. But the only other thing that I need to change that was not my fault, but just limitations of things that I could find, is that these Rock Exotica side Ds, or rigging plates that I'm using as side Ds, this hole's pretty small. You're not going to find a rigging plate that has some weirdly huge hole down here that you could use as a side D. So that's something maybe I'll think about having made so that it's a little bit easier to use, or just finding a junk tree motion and salvaging that lower D. But yeah, these are a little bit small, but they work just fine for me right now. So definitely more tinkering to be done and fun to be had, but I would definitely recommend this harness to anybody who likes messing around with their climbing equipment and stuff, because this is just a super fun project for yourself if you're a climber, to, you know, see how hard it is to make something that you actually like. But yeah, super cool thing. Love seeing what people are doing with it, and hopefully after you see this you'll go pick one up. It might still be available. The only place that sells them that I know of is Endor's Tree Gear, so I'll put a link for that in the description. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.